Title: My sibling's ceremony was flawless until my spouse murmured, "We must depart immediately." When I questioned why, she replied, "I'll clarify in the vehicle." In the quiet drive home, she finally spoke, "You truly didn't see it." The true intent of that ceremony was Chapter 1. The festivity, it was a balmy spring day, and the venue was pristine. Ivory roses cascaded from the trellis, a violin ensemble played gently, and mirth filled the air as guests toasted with sparkling wine beneath the sunlight. My younger sibling, Nathan, stood at the altar in a sharp charcoal suit, grinning as if he'd struck gold. And in a sense he had. He was tying the knot with Sophia, heiress to a wealthy dynasty, the kind with a vineyard larger than my home and a surname that commanded attention in elite circles. I was his best man. I felt immense pride. Until I didn't. My wife Emma seemed uneasy all day. Her usual warm grin was absent, and every speech, every look shared among the crowd made her clutch my arm tighter. I assumed it was her discomfort with Sophia. They'd never been close, but as the reception began and the first dance started, she leaned in, her breath urgent against my ear. "We need to go right now," I blinked, confused. "What? Why?" "They're about to slice the cake." She didn't respond. She just grabbed her bag and whispered with undeniable urgency, "I'll explain in the car." Chapter 2. The journey, the silence in the vehicle was oppressive. I drove as Emma stared forward, twisting her hands. I was still in my suit, tie loosened. My mind spun with questions. "Emma," I said at last, "what's happening?" She stayed quiet. Not until we were halfway home, with headlights casting shadows on her tense face, did she speak. "You really didn't see it," she said softly. I frowned. "See what?" She turned, her eyes glistening. "That wasn't a wedding, Ryan, it was a setup." My hands gripped the steering wheel harder. "What are you talking about? Your brother didn't just get married. He sealed a plan to ruin you." Chapter 3. The hidden betrayal. I pulled into our driveway, my heart pounding, my mind racing to process her words. "Ruin me?" I echoed. "Nathan. He's my brother." Emma unbuckled her seatbelt, her hands trembling. "He was, but not anymore." We stepped inside. The moment the door shut, she pulled out her phone, scrolled, and handed it to me. My eyes locked on an email chain. At the top was Nathan's name, subject: Equity Transfer Agreement, Final Version, with an attachment, our company's ownership contract. I froze. Nathan and I co-owned a fast-growing transport business, a 50-50 partnership forged through years of toil. Every deal, every expansion, every innovation. We'd built it side by side. But as I read, my stomach sank. The emails showed Nathan had been secretly shifting his shares he could only fully control if I was removed due to a violation or breach. I'd forgotten about a clause. If one partner was found guilty of deceit, misconduct, or ethical failure, they'd lose their stake. "That ceremony," Emma whispered, "was a spectacle, a celebration of your destruction." Chapter 4. What my wife witnessed. Emma explained everything in a hurried breath. While I was delivering my best man speech, she'd noticed several men in suits standing apart, observing. Not relatives, not friends. She trailed one to the garden patio during the cocktail hour. She overheard him on a call, speaking to an attorney. "Yes, once the news breaks and Ryan's name is linked to the scandal, we transfer his shares to Nathan's firm. No, he won't see it coming. Sophia ensured that." Sophia, Nathan's new wife. Emma connected the dots faster than I could. Sophia was a corporate attorney at a firm notorious for aggressive acquisitions. She was the mastermind of the scheme. And Nathan, he'd betrayed his own brother for wealth, for control, for her. "Ryan," Emma said, "they're about to frame you, I don't know for what. Fraud, misconduct, maybe a scandal, but it's coming this week." That ceremony wasn't just about vows. It was about optics, about trust, about leverage. I sat, stunned, the sting of betrayal crushing my chest. They planned to ruin me, but I wouldn't let them, not without a fight. Chapter 5. Silent tactics, bold outcomes. The next morning, I didn't go to the office. I didn't call Nathan. I didn't shout or send warnings. Instead, I brewed strong coffee, sat at the kitchen counter, and opened my laptop. My hands were steady now. I was done being caught off guard. They wanted a battle. They'd get strategy. Over the years, I'd embedded safeguards in the business. I held hidden admin access to our digital systems. Security protocols, emails, server controls, proprietary transport algorithms, all bore my mark. And Nathan didn't know I held the master key. I logged into our database, then our cloud system. Sophia's firm had started rerouting code to a private server, likely to replicate our operations. Amateur move. I redirected everything back in silent mode. Then I downloaded all audit records, including metadata proving unauthorized access, contract violations, and theft of intellectual property, perfectly timed with the ceremony. Next, I opened a hidden encrypted folder, one only I knew about, created years ago out of caution. It held Nathan's mistakes, deleted messages of him intimidating junior staff, audio of his tipsy boasts about hiding profits abroad, a recorded video of him signing a deal with a supplier we'd both rejected, for a hidden payout. It had seemed trivial then. Now it was ammunition. Chapter 6. Strike before the celebration fades. Emma and I operated as a team. She was sharp under pressure, managing the PR front, anonymously tipping off trusted reporters with bits of Nathan's misdeeds. I called my attorney, instructing him to prepare for urgent arbitration. I wasn't here to negotiate or stall. I wanted a decisive blow. At midday, Nathan called, likely to play nice. I didn't answer. He called again. Then Sophia emailed, "Ryan, there seems to be a misunderstanding. Let's discuss a peaceful exit from your shares." I ignored it. Instead, I set a company-wide board meeting for 9 a.m. the next day. No heads up. I also invited a new guest. Special Agent Laura Bennett, Corporate Crime Unit. I knew Sophia's firm had likely bent legal rules and Nathan had clumsily altered internal records. This was no longer just a family dispute. It was fraud. Chapter 7. The boardroom strike asterisk at 8:58 a.m. I entered the sleek, glass-walled conference room at our headquarters. Nathan was already there, arms folded, a smug grin on his face, dressed like he owned the place. Sophia sat beside him, exuding cool assurance, flipping through a notebook as if this was just another corporate conquest. Around the table were our investors, department leads, and at the far end, Agent Laura Bennett. No one had acknowledged her. No one had dared ask why she was there. Until now. "Ryan," Nathan said smoothly, "this could have been avoided. You've been erratic lately, overwhelmed, maybe stepping back is for the best." I didn't reply. Instead, I placed a black binder in the center of the table. "Let's start." The binder held printed emails, access logs, surveillance records, and a notarized timeline. It wasn't just incriminating, it was a surgical strike. Then came the USB drive. I connected it to the screen at the head of the table. First clip, Nathan at a bar with a dubious supplier, slurring, "Ryan doesn't even know I took half the profit. Keep it quiet." Next, Sophia's voice from the ceremony patio. "Once the media ties him to the misconduct story, he's finished. We take the company by Monday." The room went still. Sophia froze. Nathan's jaw dropped, but no words came. Agent Bennett rose slowly. "Mr. Nathan Carter and Miss Sophia Hale, you are now under investigation for corporate fraud, evidence manipulation, and conspiracy to commit financial sabotage." The board members looked as if the air had been sucked out of the room. Nathan tried to laugh, a feeble croak. "You're joking." Bennett held up a warrant. "You'll speak through your lawyer from now on." She nodded toward the door. 2 agents entered, escorting Nathan and Sophia out in stunned silence. The brother who had toasted to family and loyalty at his ceremony was now pale, his world crumbling beneath him. Chapter 8. Rising from ruins asterisk in the days that followed, my phone buzzed endlessly. The scandal hit industry news first, then spread to major outlets. Sophia's firm distanced itself from her within hours. Nathan's reputation was in tatters. Our investors issued a formal apology to me. The board voted unanimously to oust Nathan permanently and offered to reorganize the company with me as sole CEO. But that wasn't all. I visited our parents. When they opened the door, their faces were strained, torn between their sons. I handed them a folder, evidence, truth, silence. Then I walked away. I didn't need their approval anymore. Emma and I took a quiet trip a month later, just us. No ceremonies, no flash, no betrayal, just calm. On the flight home, she rested her head on my shoulder and whispered, "You could have crushed him with anger, but you chose to unravel him with precision." I smiled. Because anger fades fast, but true retribution is calculated and lasting. Epilogue: Nathan was barred from future corporate roles. Sophia lost her legal credentials. I donated their ceremony venue deposit, $30,000, to a charity for military families anonymously. And our company, we rebranded, we expanded, we flourished, because I wasn't just the brother he betrayed. I was the force he never anticipated. Was this retribution entirely justified? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Like the story, pass it on to someone who needs this fire, and subscribe to Stories by Lauren for more gripping tales of deceit and justice. Because here, every deception meets its reckoning, and every betrayal casts a shadow. Stay vigilant, stay resilient, and stay tuned.